This is a message from your guides reading for the Andromedan star being. Okay, so I am going to use my green fluorite to surround us in protected space. Okay, so your guides are coming in with this really clear energy, and I know that they're really trying to send you that. They are sending you that. I don't feel like it's necessarily all manifested yet, where it's really dawning on you, that sense of profound clarity, but they are sending it, it feels like. For some reason, I also feel like your stone is definitely helping, the crystal that you're using. I feel like it would be good to hold a piece like that in your hands too, though, or even both of your hands to hold them. Um, um, I feel like until you had that, though, you could use other stones as replacements, though. I feel like you could use amethyst or you could use rose quartz. And I actually have rose quartz here as well. So I have green fluorite. Um, then I have my obsidian and I have shadakite. And these must be group stones because this is the third Patreon reading I've done. And I'm still using these two. I've been using them for everybody. So this is my shadakite and my obsidian. So a lot of clearing and protective energies here, protecting your space from negative energies and deflecting energies you don't want to pick up on. And then this has a lot of grounding energies. The obsidian has some grounding energies too, though. But this has a lot of grounding energies and earth energies. It's also very healing, very calming, and it has a lot to do with the third eye. And then I have my green fluorite and my rose quartz. So the green fluorite is really calming as well, really healing, and there's a lot of earth energies with this one too. But specifically really calming. It kind of helps you breathe into your emotions and let them out. And then my rose quartz here has to do with a lot of harmony. So I feel like it's helping to dispel doubt and confusion. So I feel like this could definitely be used to help you with this also. To kind of ground and connect and clear your energy, clear your thoughts and your emotions. So I feel like the rose quartz would be really good for that. And it also feels like sending out like a positive kind of energy for the future as you progress. Then the other one I feel like you could use would be amethyst. And I don't have that with me, but amethyst, it's really good for psychic abilities, but it's also really good for mental clarity, helps you focus when you're meditating or you're doing a project or whatever it is. So a lot of the crystals that have to do with things with the third eye. A lot of times they also have to do with other mental things, mental clarity and focus and things like that. And then it also helps deflect negative energies away. So amethyst can be kind of an all-purpose stone sometimes, just like quartz can. So you can definitely use it for a wide variety of things. There are still certain things that it is really meant for, though, at the same time. But you can use it for a lot of things. So that's definitely one that I feel like you should have. If you don't, or if you do, just keep using it. Or even if you only have one, I mean, get more of them. It's a good one to have around, but that's one that your guides are specifically sending. I feel like selenite is a good one as well. I'm seeing different ones. I'm seeing selenite, clear quartz, the rose quartz, and the amethyst. Even the green fluorite, I feel like would be good. I feel like there are different ones you could use, and this doesn't mean you have to get all of those. That's kind of a list. But any that you feel, even malachite, I'm feeling like is another good one. But malachite, again, it has to do with grounding, and it has to do with protection and psychic protection. But it can also help to clear your thoughts and dispel confusion and things because it has that grounding effect at the same time. And then also just the fact that it helps deflect energies away is going to help you clear some of your thoughts, because some of them are not yours. Okay. Okay, so business, that's what you wanted to talk about today, so I know they want to get into that. They always talk a little bit beforehand about whatever, but yeah, now they want to get into this question. Okay, so they're showing me yellow right away. So this is having to do with the solar plexus chakra. And I feel like there is a little bit of a block there. I feel like before, like a long time ago, when you were doing things that were logical to do, that was just purely out of reason and they seemed reasonable versus what you would necessarily really want or be really passionate about, or really move forward with. Like in all areas. Even though in some ways you weren't moving forward spiritually, for some reason it was easier for you to progress physically and achieve certain things mentally, it feels like. And you weren't really so confused because you were doing more what you were taught to do, what you were expected to do. And so you were certain in that way. So in some ways it was easy to do. It was easier. But now you've broken free and it's like you're doing what you really want to do. So now this block more comes up in the solar plexus. And the solar plexus has a lot to do with achieving things. It also has to do with facing fears as well. And really moving forward. This is like the first manifesting chakra. So before that we have the heart, and so we kind of feel our desires. We know what the things we want are. But now we're moving into the solar plexus, and now it starts becoming about manifesting them. This chakra has a lot of focus and drive. It definitely is clear on what it wants. It has a sense of purpose. It knows who it is, so it has a very strong sense of self, self-esteem, self-empowerment. So there's a lot of good stuff here in this chakra, but when it's blocked, we can feel this kind of resistance to moving forward, even if we really want to. And that's also why the root chakra is kind of blocked too, where we have this loss of grounding a bit. But this is starting further up in some of the other chakras. So it doesn't feel like that was there before, this block in the solar plexus. When you were doing more logical things, it feels like it was actually easier to produce what you wanted physically, but it wasn't what you really wanted. And it feels like this block only appeared there once you let that go and you said, okay, I want to do what I really want to do. Then it's like you had to get clear on what the heck is it that I would really want to do, because you've always pursued other things that you didn't really want, and you weren't really looking at that fact for a long time. So now it's like we've looked at it, so you've gotten clear on what it is that you want, and it took you a while to just get there, to just get to the point where, okay, now I'm clear on whatever that happens to be, whatever it is that I actually want. So now you're to that point, but now it's hazy on, okay, how do I get to the point where I'm financially grounded doing the thing that I really want? But so just like you got clear on what you actually wanted to do, eventually you're going to end up clear on exactly how to manifest that. So that's kind of coming together and formulating right now. And it's definitely been a journey for you. But one thing your guides are saying is they're just saying work and effort. They're saying time and patience, but they're saying that you already know that, so that almost seems a little bit secondary. Without the work and the effort, the time and patience could be really extended out. And they're saying that you're willing to do work and put in effort. It's just more this confusion of how do I get this thing rolling? Where do I put my time and my patience? Where do I put my work and my effort? Where do I put all of these things? Where do I put all of my ideas? So they're saying that your website is done, but you need to get people drawn to it. And how can you do that? How can you get people to this place? But I really do feel like videos and your channel on YouTube, where people are seeing your face, I feel like that's going to be where the most of it is going to eventually come from. I don't feel like it's going to like pour in from other places, especially not to start with. It might later on, but I still feel like mainly it will have come from YouTube. You can do other things too, though. You can have an Instagram, because even with something like that, they're seeing your face. You know, you're putting pictures of different things. You're putting your thoughts. You can put pictures of yourself. For some reason, I feel like that's really important, to show yourself, to have pictures of yourself. Not, and they're saying not like obsessively, they don't mean that, where like every day you're just like posting all these like, you know, annoying pictures of yourself on Instagram, you know. They're not saying that, but but they are saying that it's important for you to get out there, you to be seen, you to be heard. So you can post other pictures as well, obviously, but at the same time, it still feels like primarily of you. Primarily putting yourself out there. And they're not talking about the Instagram thing here. They're talking about in general. That's really what you need to do. You need to make sure that you are seen. They're saying something about needing to be relatable. Okay, so they're saying they like how you use yourself as an example. So anytime you're like, when I was a kid, this happened to me, or whatever, and you use your own life as an example for the point that you're trying to make, or you use something that you're going through or what you have been through. Mainly it feels like what you have been through. And then you talk about how you solved it, or how you are solving it. But they like that. It's good to use yourself as an example. They're also saying to look at yourself in a new way and to feel confident and just feel like you have the answers. And they're saying that that's really how you want to come across, not in like an arrogant way. I don't see how you would ever come across that way anyway. You don't really come across that way. But they mean more like you're calm, you're collected, and you know what you are talking about. They're saying that you can put some research into topics, think about what you're going to say, which I feel like you do to begin with. You always think about what you're going to say. But they're saying that you can put research into topics, and that's a good thing, and you can bring that as well. But the main thing is being relatable. And so thinking about yourself as well, even if you do research something and you bring information in that way as well, if you also think about how it relates to you in your life, like how did you stop caring what other people think, or how did you learn to set boundaries, or different spiritual questions that people tend to have. But I feel like in kind of a general sense, your guides are saying that most of your videos are kind of general right now. And they're saying that that's a really good thing because it feels like it can bring more people towards you. It's not, so in other words, it's not saying star seeds and you can get all the star seeds, but you're not necessarily going to get all the light workers, for instance, or whatever. But I feel like in your case, it's even broader. It can be people who are just dabbing into spirituality, or people who are really advanced into spirituality, and they've been doing it for a long time. And you can have those two types of people side by side and looking at your same video and having an opinion on it and feeling like it's helpful to them in some way. You can have those same two people commenting below on the same exact video. So they're saying like broad, but at the same time they're saying specific. Always something helpful. So thinking about what would be good for people to know. What are things that people struggle with? Like they're saying people have anxiety a lot. For instance, how can people remove their anxiety? These are the types of videos that you're putting out, that you're looking to put out. They're saying, so it feels like you're doing the right thing with that. You're going to reach the right people in the way that you are, in the way that you're doing it already. So it feels like to just keep it up and keep doing those things. And you can be someone with knowledge where people can go to your videos knowing that they're going to get some kind of understanding, some kind of take on something, but it's still going to be in a little bit more of a logical way, it feels like. Just like in one of the readings where they were talking about Doreen Virtue and kind of how she's a psychologist, and that's always something that she gets across in her videos. And when she's speaking, like, you think about that, you notice that. Like, it feels like a doctor or something is, someone like that is talking to you, like a lawyer or someone is talking to you, but they're talking to you about spiritual topics. And so that's something that can pull in different people. It can pull in people who are more skeptical. It can pull in people who are really into spirituality. It can pull in people who think, you're nuts, this is crazy. And then they're kind of like, okay, this person actually seems a little more, normal in a sense, or kind of just like they know what they're talking about. They don't really sound like they're crazy. So your guides are saying that it's mostly about the way that you come across. I have this feeling that you can put out some kind of really spiritual topics as well, though. Talk about different topics of spirituality as well. But still in this way where it's like, it's kind of this mix then of different things. And you can draw in, kind of a wide variety of people is what it feels like. So you could end up with a wide variety of people coming to your channel. And it just kind of feels almost like a self-help kind of channel in a sense. It is spiritual, but at the same time, it can almost be thought of as self-help, which spirituality is, but people who are not really that spiritual, in other words, or that into spirituality, can still come to your stuff and view it and feel like they can get something from it. And then they might look into some of your other videos as well that are more into spiritual stuff. But it feels like the people that are, the videos that are going to draw a lot of people are going to be a little bit more broad. Kind of like the ones that you're already kind of doing, and just help people answer questions. How do I overcome depression? Type of stuff like that. Or different things that come to you. Okay, because I feel like there's already a lot of things that are coming to you. You know, you probably have a list of different topics that you could do, or you will anyway. Because it just feels like that's kind of how your mind works. It feels like you're already kind of thinking of videos that you can do, and you're already gathering different ideas for different topics that you could do. So they're saying to just think what can help a lot of people, basically. And think about the way that you're coming across. I also feel like they're saying that you're doing the right thing by focusing on your business for the next few months. It even feels like that kind of came to you from them. So it feels like that's a good idea. Another thing that they're suggesting is you can even, and obviously you're going to if you're making these kind of videos continuously, but it feels like you can kind of take one idea, like how to help someone with this specific emotion, and you could end up making like 5 different videos on it and just do them all a little bit differently and make the title a little different, where you're saying something that isn't the same, or maybe you're adding on to something, or you're just saying it in a different way. And so you can kind of take one topic and you can kind of spread it out, and you can also end up reaching more people with it that way too. Another thing is to make sure that the titles are direct, they're simple, so it's easy to find you. But even with that, there's kind of a feeling that you're already doing that. I feel like you're going to get better at things like that as you continue. But it feels like to just make yourself as accessible as possible. So it feels like you're doing the right thing, but it does feel like you're going to tweak it as you continue. You're going to improve on it, but it feels like for now you're doing the right thing. It feels like you just have to continue with it, and you're going to get better and better at it, and you are going to develop a following. But at first, you've just got to, it's just put out videos, with titles that are simple, that are direct, that are clickable. People will go to them because of the title, because of the thumbnail, and also they're just easier to find. So in other words, you need to have a title that's going to come up in a search engine, in other words. And then it feels like you're gonna end up developing a following. So you just kind of have to keep at it. But it feels like a lot of the things that you need to be doing, you already are doing. It's just putting your focus and attention towards them and your time and your effort and just keeping up with them. But I feel from your guides like really going all out on YouTube especially is really the way to go. It feels like that's where you're going to get the most attention. That's where you'll develop the biggest following. Because it feels like it's your personality that's going to draw the most amount of people to you, as well as the information that you're putting out and the knowledge and the way that you are delivering it. Okay, so that is all that your guides have to say for this reading. So thank you very much, and I will see you next week. Namaste.